taxpayers, you're back with MrTaxes.ca with special guests and our special co-host. Make sure and tune in weekly Wednesday mornings, 9 a.m. Pacific time, 12 noon Central. Remember to subscribe and remember to smash, bash, and kick it in the you-know-what with that like button if you want more videos like this. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the weekly Dollar Tax Club webinar with our hopefully to be on soon co-host Jesse. We just popped on, so
I'm here
as our technical advisor. You got the bugs ironed out.
Yeah, I don't know what was happening this morning. It was some weird. I don't know. It looked like I got hacked on my computer or something, but it seems to be working okay now.
No, I don't think. Well, who would want to hack you?
I don't know, man. I don't have anything that I really
worth
care
hacking.
Takes, but
nothing worth hacking.
Yeah,
there
exactly.
You go. So, any guess on what week we're on?
30.
Awesome. I took a sneak peek myself this morning.
It
reminds me of that old movie. I forget which movie it was with Clint Eastwood. It was an army movie where he was a commander or something, and his troops, he would train them every morning, and he told them they had to wear the right t-shirt, but he never told them which color. And he would show up in a yellow t-shirt, and they'd all show up in a blue or green t-shirt. Next morning, he would change it, and they'd always have the wrong t-shirt. Then one of the guys on laundry duty took a peek at what t-shirt he was going to be wearing in the morning, and they came out, and they all had the same t-shirt.
Yeah.
And he nailed it.
There you go. Sometimes you just got to cheat a little bit.
Yeah, you got to take a sneak peek. So as every week, here we are, weekly webinar number 30 for 2022. Can't believe we're at 30 already. We got 30 in the can. So you can watch all the replays on the YouTube channel. Remember to like, subscribe, comment. What else? Smash, bash, hit the button, do what you got to do on YouTube. But you can watch all the replays. We've had Philogics on. We've had mortgage brokers on, brokerage owners on, giving tips and tricks, marketing tips. Mostly we have Jesse on giving some marketing tips. We have some tax tips that we present every week. But most importantly, we can help your clients get up to date, get their tax documents, etc. as a mortgage broker. So every week we tell you what you're going to learn, tell you a little bit about us, a little bit of background about Jesse, myself, and then tax tip, tax joke, motivation, a little bit of marketing stuff. And then you take what you learn each week and you go out and you put it to use. Hopefully you can pick and choose what you like. And remember, you can watch them on the replay. So if you see something, see a tidbit, or we refer to one of the previous webinars, make sure and go back. And then we always have Q&A. So if you're tuning in, make sure and ask your questions as a broker. Anyone else on wanting to check things out. Week number 30, we nailed it. We both knocked it out of the park this week.
Yeah, I had to go deliver a motorcycle this morning. As I was riding it, I was like, I know Rob's going to ask me what week this is, so I got to remember.
So you pulled over, I hope, and checked?
No, I didn't have to. I just remembered that last week was 29.
It's funny how it just chronological like that. And next week will be 31. So we'll put that in the memory bank. So a little bit about us. You hear the same thing every week. You'll see it on all the replays. We try and give you something new, but you on your motorcycle may be pulling over to check that week, or just remembering the number reminded me. I was in Cuba maybe 35 years ago. I was in my early 20s, so that'll give you you can do the math and figure out my age. But I remember we were going out to this club. It was on a Saturday night. And we had this driver we hired for the whole week. He had a 1957 Chevy wagon. And I have a picture of it somewhere, but we were driving to the club, maybe about 2-3 kilometers. And all these people were driving to the club on bicycles. We figured out that they were going to the club because there was nothing else around. And there was a guy who had his date on the handlebars. She was sitting on the handlebars, kind of sideways. And she was putting on makeup in a mirror, putting her lipstick on. She had a little mirror and putting her makeup on the way to the nightclub, restaurant, nightclub.
That's hilarious.
I know Jesse wasn't putting on his makeup. He was just checking the date.
Yeah.
That's a little bit about me. So, I've traveled a little bit, been to Cuba, been to Mexico, been to Europe, been to Asia, extensive boxing career, got to travel around the world. Didn't get to see too many places though, because when you go in as an athlete, you go in a couple days before, you're preparing for your events, whatever it is. You have medicals, you're watching what you eat. You can't be partying or drinking. And then usually, with boxing, after the Saturday night event, you're all beat up. You don't have any energy left to do anything else anyway, and you fly out the next morning. So I've been to all these places, but never got to see really any of the local spots, other than maybe a restaurant or a spot where you have to go out and buy something.
And the drive from the airport to the hotel.
Yeah, you get that scenic view of that one road. Like Ottawa, there's one road going from the airport to downtown. Same trip every time.
Yeah. My name is Jesse Garnier. I've been an online entrepreneur since 2016. Also did some traveling. Never been to Europe or anything like that yet, but I also went to Cuba. That was the first vacation I ever took. Spent the winter in Mexico, been to Mexico a couple of times, been all over the States doing big events, speaking on stages and providing value and stuff, and a couple other places. But been working with Mr. Taxes and Mr. Insurance for the almost a year now, I guess, which is
awesome.
Crazy. Working on the back end system for the affiliate program, making sure all the automations are working and everything's, working properly there, as well as heading up the Alberta division for Mr. Insurance, which is really exciting as well.
Yeah. So most recently, though, you did a little stint in Mexico. You were working from Mexico on the beach.
Yeah, I was.
Maybe that was a problem this morning. Had sand in the computer still.
Yeah, it was probably the moisture still trying to get out of it. That was one problem. That was actually one thing that I didn't realize when we went down to Mexico is you're not supposed to have your laptop outside because it's so humid. It can actually mess with all the components. My buddy who was with us actually had to bring his in and get a whole new system put in. It was like an extra $1,000 or something. And I was like, I don't want to do that.
Get it, the dehumidifier in the room. Something like that. So, joke of the week: reasons why you don't think you need life insurance. People think they're never going to die. Newsflash: if my kids are watching, and they are, one of them's a moderator, maybe both are on this morning. If you don't like your kids.
I was in a meeting with a guy one time when I was talking to him about life insurance, and he just looked at me and he's like, what do I care? I'm not going to be around. That's their problem. I was blown away with his response.
Yeah, it's but there's 9 uses ahead of dying for utilizing your life insurance for when you're alive, and we'll get into that. You can watch that in a previous episode. Again, check the YouTube channel. Number 3, you're going to inherit a fortune. Well, fortunately or unfortunately or fortunately, I'm not going to inherit a fortune unless my mother has money stowed away somewhere. But it's enough. She's giving us enough in our lifetime, and some people may think, hey, that's adequate for our kids. But what if you have a spouse? I always ask the question: is your widow going to be able to dress as nice as your spouse? Having to take care of the kids, etc. Number 4, you're going to win the lottery. I have a buddy, Maple Leaf Landscaping, won the lottery twice. The owner won the lottery twice back in the late 90s. He won, I believe it was about $800,000, and then he won another $600,000 within 3 months. Won the lottery twice, but that doesn't happen to a lot of us. And my favorite reason why you don't think you're going to need life insurance, because you think the government's going to take care of you. Life insurance is the number one replacement for RSPs or TFSAs. It actually works as a saving account that you can draw upon in your retirement tax-free. All the growth is tax-free as well, whereas RSPs, you're taxed on all the growth and the initial capital that you put in as well when you pull it out. So it's they give you a little bit. They give a little bit of money to Peter to rob Paul. Okay, the Dollar Tax Club. If you're wondering what it is, it's a side hustle for your side hustle. I'll let Jesse explain it because he's been in the affiliate marketing world for a long time. That's one of the reasons why I think, or one of the things that enticed you about this project.
Yeah, so whether you're in business for yourself or maybe you're not even in business for yourself, this is another tool that you can add to your tool belt that will just help you, help other people. That's what I love about it, is it's a way to just really give a lot of value for a really good price for $1. So essentially, the Dollar Tax Club is designed to help not only the customer, but also the referring affiliate. The reason we put the affiliate program in place is, one, obviously, we want exposure, we want to grow, and we want to help more people. But two, we know that, people are going to trust you more than they trust somebody off the street. So if you say, hey, this is a really cool idea, this is a cool thing that you can check out, then they're going to trust you and they're going to go through the process, and who knows what the outcome may be. What's the biggest tax refund you've ever gotten somebody out of a 10-year tax review, Rob?
Just north of $90,000, and that was going back 3 years for a corporate owner that didn't realize that they could split income with their spouse. They could get their GST refund as a corporate owner on their expenses they paid personally for the corporation. A lot of little things that they weren't doing, but that was just over a 3-year period, paying themselves a salary out of the corporation over $120,000 in salary over 3 years. Instead of dividends. So little things like that really add up. With this person, it was a little over $30,000 per year in additional tax that they had paid that they didn't really have to. And we were able to get that money back for them. It was just under a year with the application process and refiling returns. CRA is not in a hurry to give you your money back. You're in a hurry to take it. If you owe them $10, they'll send a letter every month, and it costs about $8 to $10 to send out a letter. When you think about all the work behind the letter, drafting the letter, the employee's time, it's only government money, so who cares? But you owe $10, they'll send a letter every month. But if they owe you money, you can't get a hold of them on the phone.
Yeah. So, let's just say, for example, one of your friends or, a coworker of yours or family member, whoever, maybe they have $90,000 sitting there, or maybe you have $90,000 sitting there that is just ready to be claimed. And even if it takes a year, to me, it's worth it. I was in a similar situation where my previous accountant was paying me through my corporation, was paying me what would you say?
Through payroll instead of dividends, and not splitting that income with your spouse, not having your spouse on the corporation as a director. A lot of little things that, it's just minor shifts. And who is it that said, Anthony Robbins was talking about, a minor shift in golf. I'm not a golf player, but he says, when you're hitting the ball 400 yards, he said, 0.1 of a degree makes a difference of making $1 million a year on the PGA and making nothing as a backyard golfer. So it's just minor shifts like that in what you're doing as a business owner. Whether or not you get involved with us in the affiliate program, it's just the affiliate program's a way, like Jesse said, for us to give back, reciprocate the generosity for referrals. So you refer us to a client, we pay 20% referral fee. I don't know of any other program like this in Canada for accountants.
Yeah. I've never really dug too deep, but I don't imagine there's too many.
Yeah, I haven't seen one.
That's because when you're on top, you don't worry about who's in second place.
Yeah, the lead donkey's the only one with a change of view, right?
Exactly.
So the link, one of the links that Jesse set up is on the bottom, so you can check that out, dollartaxclub.ca/affiliates. That's for if you're interested in becoming an affiliate, if you're in the financial service industry. One of the major pluses of becoming an affiliate is we create some marketing material, like the QR code you see on the screen. We put that in all the marketing material. It's customized to your link, and that's embedded in cookies when somebody goes to the website. So if they go on at any point in the future and click on a link, you will get that referral fee. So, and you can use that to generate leads for yourself as well. Ideally, if you're a mortgage broker, you can advertise for free tax reviews that we include with every Dollar Tax Club membership. And those clients come in, do a review. If they don't have a mortgage broker, we refer them back to you. So if you've ever wanted, as a mortgage broker, to partner with an accountant, this is your opportunity. Jesse's done a lot of groundwork on this. You know, it took about 6 months to get it up and running, and then we've been dialing it in every week. Every little bit of feedback we get, we're back and forth every week. We're on the webinars every week, taking feedback on the webinars, and we're really dialing in the system, working with Canada Revenue on the back end to make sure that we're able to get documents for clients. With all the other systems being shut down or the other companies being shut down for document retrieval, we remain standing. We've been doing it since 2008.
Last man standing.
The last man. So a little bit about the program again, if you've missed the last 29 webinars, because we are on number 30. We touch on it every week, and hopefully you catch something. We try and switch it up a little bit each week. But we talk about what's in it for clients, what's in it for brokers, what's in it for Dollar Tax Club. Jesse talked about clients. There's that potential that you've missed something on your tax return. 9 out of 10 clients, we find something. 9 out of 10 tax reviews. And yeah, 90,000 is a big amount to get back. Not the average person is going to get that back. Depends on how much you actually pay in tax, your tax bracket. But the average is just under $3,000. And that's substantial. And there's other companies doing tax reviews as well. One of the big ones back in Ontario, I've talked to them. We met with them when we were in Ontario, and they said it's about the same average. So just on average, it's about $3,000 in additional refunds. Another example, a young lady who was a single mom. Her child was about 8 years old. Didn't realize for the first 6 years she didn't have to claim the child tax benefits on her tax return. The money that they receive in the slip every year, she was including it in her income. She didn't realize as a single parent she did not have to include that. That equated into about a $7,000 refund for that young mother. And she called, she was almost crying, saying that she was on the verge of being evicted from her place because she didn't have enough money to pay the rent that month. And she got that refund within, I believe it was about a week. Once we refiled, it was filed online. She got the first refunds instantly because we can go back 3 years to file immediately online. The previous 3 years, so we had to file by paper, and she got that a couple months later. So that's what we do for clients. What's in it for brokers? Jesse does a lot of work. Jesse does a lot of work on the broker side, developing the systems, but one of them is the referral commissions. Maybe Jesse talk about the software that we use. It is Kartra, but maybe talk a little bit about, setting that up, because a lot of brokers don't actually set up their bank account or their PayPal system to get that commission paid into their account. You do have to do a little bit of work to set up your account.
Yeah, so it takes in total probably about 4 minutes to get completely set up, from clicking the link to filling out the affiliate application to logging into the account, and then connect. If you have a PayPal account already, that's the easiest and quickest way to go about it, because you can just click, you go in under the payment section, you click attach PayPal. You log into your PayPal account, that'll connect it. And then what happens from there is everything is automated. Everything is taken care of. There's no manual steps in there. But when you refer a client into the Dollar Tax Club utilizing your affiliate link, that's all tracked in the back end to make sure that you're going to get that commission when that time comes. And what'll happen is when that time comes, when the commission is due, it'll just automatically send it to your PayPal account from the Mr. Tax's PayPal account. So basically, we would collect the money from the client, and then there is a waiting period just because we do offer refund periods and stuff like that. So we don't want to be chasing affiliates to get money back from them. So we just said, let's just wait until the waiting period's done. And then as soon as that's done, automatically that money transfers through PayPal. It's done. That's that.
And it's a 30-day hold on the payments, correct? To make sure there's no chargebacks, etc.
Yeah, because I think we have a 30-day money-back guarantee. So,
if anybody would know, it would be you.
Yeah, no, it's 30 days. Usually, anything I build for myself is 15 days, which is why I remember yours is 30 days, because you want it to be, you want to give. You're more generous than me. But
yeah, month, for us, it makes sense with the 1 month cycle on reconciling the books every month. For us, it's and if you want to set up a system like this for yourself, reach out to Jesse. You can set whatever holdback period you want, but it's it was suggested to us by PayPal and by Cartridge to put that holdback period for different reasons, for security, to make sure that payments do come through. And there's a lot of fraudulent activity with the online processing, so it's safety for yourself. But again, if you're looking to set up a system like this for yourself, reach out.
Yeah, for sure. This is honestly one of my deepest passions, is just setting up these systems and figuring out ways to automate and build programs and stuff like that. So anyone who does want anything like that, definitely reach out. But yeah, so 30-day waiting period. As soon as that period is over, boom, the money's in your PayPal account. You can, then take it into your bank account and do whatever you want with it. So it's pretty simple. Like I said, it takes roughly about 4 to maybe 5 minutes to complete the entire thing and copy your link and save it somewhere. And then from that point forward, everything is taken care of for you. Nobody has to worry about anything. And if there are any issues or problems, always reach out directly to me if you want, and we'll get you sorted.
Yeah, one of the other benefits of coming on as a just as an example, as a mortgage broker, we have affiliates coming on in other industries, but I'm just going to share my screen and share some of the marketing material that we put together. This is just one of the ads that Alicia in our marketing department, she heads up the marketing department, puts together. She worked with Colin on a series of ads, so 10. We do up 10 with 10 different tax tips. And you can use these to post on social media. So it has your contact info, your phone number. If somebody clicks on the ad, we'll give you a unique URL link as well, but also the QR code. If you have that embedded anywhere and anybody clicks on it, if they don't have a mortgage broker already, we refer that client back to you. One of the first questions we ask our client through the financial planning process is whether or not they own a home. And if they don't, would you like to buy a home? And then we work with you as the broker. We work on the financial side, helping them put the funds together. For example, the different strategies using a home buyer's plan, getting the home buyer's grants, the home buyer's credit on the Schedule 1. You'd be surprised how many people as first-time home buyers don't claim the first-time home buyer's credit on their tax return. It's $750 in your pocket. So if you've had a first-time home buyer that hasn't claimed it, reach out to them, ask them if they have or haven't. It's an ideal person to refer to the Dollar Tax Club. We'll go through their tax returns, ask them if they were a first-time home buyer, make sure they get that credit. How do you like to give that gift of $750 back to one of your clients? But more importantly is the ads. This is all done for you. And what's the cost on these, Jesse?
A big fat zero.
Yeah, we don't charge because, like I said, we're getting exposure as well. So that's on the, let's go back here to the slides. The next slide, what's in it for the Dollar Tax Club and Mr. Taxes and Jesse and Rob?
Well, quite simply, exposure, growth, more clients.
Yeah, number 3 on the screen there. So, We produce those ads. It's our time, our money, our dime. We work with you to put it together, whether or not your brokerage allows you to use the logos, the color schemes, etc. It's usually a couple iterations back and forth till we get it right. And then we just start popping in the tax tips for you. And these are pretty much unlimited. We put together 150 tax tips that you could put into these posts. And again, if you've ever wanted to work with an accounting firm as a referral partner, this is your ideal chance.
Yeah. Before I met you, I've never ever thought about partnering with an accountant. It's just not something I ever thought about, but it makes perfect sense.
Because we're so exciting.
Yeah, it's such an exciting industry. But it does make sense because anyone who's in business,
dollars and cents.
Yeah, dollars and cents. Anyone who's in business, you should be, anyone out there should be wanting to capitalize and make sure that they keep as much money as possible. So it makes sense to have a good accountant in your pocket. And, if you can partner with them, that's even better.
Yeah, one of the advantages that we have is we do financial planning in-house. So we're all licensed in our office here, and we can reach out to the big fund companies, Fidelity, AGF, Franklin Templeton, etc. We have contracts with all the major banks, with the Mr. Investments division, Mr. Insurance. We can reach out to the high net worth tax planning departments if it's something we can't handle in-house. I'd say 99.9% of things that come through our door we can handle. If it's something beyond our means or we need to reach out, we have those resources at our fingertips with all the major insurance companies. So, the brands that you recognize, probably the major banks, insurance, Sun Life, Manulife, but the big ones in Canada as well, Canada Life, IA, Industrial Alliance. So those are the resources we have at our fingertips for financial planning. And that's what we do with every client that comes through the Dollar Tax Club. We give them that comprehensive financial review. And that's all at no cost. How do we make money? Well, the insurance companies pay us. The fund companies pay us. What do we charge? We charge $1 for that.
Yep.
And it'll be the same next year. I think $1 is always going to be $1. Maybe worth a lot less next year, though.
Yeah, I seen an article earlier today that said that cost of living is supposed to double in the next 2 years or something. I don't know how much that's true or not, but
it might be half true.
Yeah, I mean, we're already on track for that, so
it's getting there. So, do you want to end personal income tax? Want to know how to pay zero personal income tax from your corporation? Reach out. There's a couple strategies. And that's our goal with every corporate client that comes through our door. The goal is to get all of your money out of your corporation throughout your lifetime and the lifetime of the corporation, whether you pass it on to heirs or sell it at the end if you have an exit strategy. The goal is to pay zero personal income tax. They have low corporate income tax rates for a reason. It's to incentivize people starting their own business. If you started something on your own and you're not incorporated yet, reach out to us. If you have questions about incorporation, that's something that we can help with. Our neighbors here in the office is a corporate tax law firm, and they can help you get set up. We can work with them, work with you to get you from sole proprietorship into corporation and start paying less tax. Why wait till tomorrow? There's still time this year. We're only August. Webinar number 30, you can do the math. We're on the first week of August here, 2022. There's still time before the end of the year to incorporate. There are advantages. Reach out, spend that buck, set up your one-on-one meeting. We'll talk to you about all the pros and cons, and then you make the decision. Bottom line is you will pay less tax as a corporation, but you do have to have an operating company, an operating business, either goods or services, and something that's ongoing, something that you plan on doing perpetually. The purpose of one of the purposes of a corporation is longevity. The corporation will outlast you if you want it to. So it's a way to pass, that wealth through generations with some of the strategies that we have. Simple stuff. So if you haven't signed up for the upcoming events. This webinar is every Wednesday, but we have other events we do from time to time. The big one was when the government was doling out all the COVID money. They say COVID is not over yet. There's a big wave coming in the fall, so we hope there's more money coming in the fall. You know, the conservatives are saying that we shouldn't be printing money, but I say just, you know, if you keep printing it, if you're giving, we're taking. You know, I think almost $100 billion was 80 or 90 billion at the last check for the CEBA loans. That's the Canada Emergency Business Account, the up to 60,000 for eligible businesses. I think it was almost $100 billion. It's crazy. My guess is 50% of those companies will never pay it back in the owner's lifetime, and the company will dissolve. And so there's trouble coming down the road financially for a lot of people. So it's time to start preparing. You know, if there was ever a time to be ready and look at your financial situation, it's now, because things are, like Jesse said it in the outset there, the cost of living is expected to double in the next 2 years.
That's what this one article said. I don't know how
you know, we're already up to almost 10% inflation. And if it keeps going, if they keep printing money, if they don't do something soon to change that, and I'm not an economist, but I know that if you keep printing money, it deflates the economy or creates inflation. It's a simple cause and effect relationship. There's all kinds of posts. You can Google it in 2 seconds. It's not our forte, but I know if you keep printing money,
it's going to come back to bite you at some point.
Yes, definitely. Okay, Q&A. Any of our listeners got questions? It's been quiet the past couple of weeks. I think with people are just mesmerized by the inflation. They don't have questions about how to save tax or put their money away. But, you know, in your lifetime, almost 50% of your earnings goes to paying some type of tax. Income tax accounts for about 50% of the tax that you pay. The other 25% is property taxes, which is a big one. GST, goods and services, cigarette tax, fuel tax. You know, what is it? 85% of the $2 plus we're paying for gas now is taxes. So there's a cost to the government. And what does the government do with our money? They turn around and give it back to us like they're doing us a favor. You know, it's What do they call that? In taxification, that euphoric feeling you get when you get your tax refund, but then you realize it's actually your own money that you just loaned them all year in the first place.
Yeah. It's funny because back when I was working a normal job, the one year I got a $7,000 refund. I remember it. And I was just over the moon. I was like, this is amazing. But then it was my dad that was like, yeah, but you realize that's $7,000 that you overpaid through the year. And that's when it clicked for me. And I was like, oh, I didn't understand that.
Yeah, most people realize they're paying too much tax, or, you know, they don't notice it on every paycheck. But if you go back and actually take a look at it, you'd be surprised. You know, when they get that couple $100 refund, they're ecstatic that they don't have to pay anymore. But then they go back and look at their T4 for the year and realize that on a $60,000 income, they paid $22,000 in tax throughout the year. That's almost $2,000 a month in taxes that comes off your paycheck. How'd you like to get some of that back? You know, that's what we're doing here. That's why we're on every week. You know, we're looking for clients. Of course we are. You know, we're open about it. We tell everybody what's in it for us. But we like to give back as well. Like the old boxing coach used to say, it's always better to give than to receive. You know, if we can help get you those refunds and get you into, some financial planning, that doesn't cost you anything, the financial planning side, because again, the insurance companies, the investment companies are the ones that pay us, not you. So a lot of people think it costs money to get a financial planner. It does. But and in our case here, it's a buck. You know, you come through the door. There's a reason for the dollar. There's some psychology around it. We're actually going to retire off that dollar at some point. We'll compound it year after year after year. You know, if you it's the old free hug rule. I had this lady come into our old office, our first office out in Langley, BC. And she said, oh, we're going around. She had this card. She said, we're with the Hug Association or something, and we're giving out free hugs. I said, well, hey, if you're giving, I'm taking. And so I got a hug. And then I asked her, I said, well, you know, why doesn't everybody in the world get a hug? And the light bulb went off. And then I pull out my calculator and I figure, you know, how many, if you gave 3 people a hug and they went out and gave 3 people a hug. So if you had $1 and you turn that into $3 and you turn that $3 into $9, compounding, how many days, you know, if that happened once a day, how many days before that dollar turned into 10 billion? So everybody on the planet would receive a hug, or you turn it into just over 10 billion.
It's not as many days as you would think, probably.
Yeah, it's 21. You know, I've mentioned that a few times on the webinars, but you know, 3 to the power of 21 is just over 10 billion. So, you know, everybody, you know, a couple of people would receive 2 hugs, you know, because I think there's 7 billion on the planet now. But when you compound it, so if you took your dollar, turned it into 3, and then did that every day for 21 days, you'd have $10 billion. You'd be the 4th richest person on the planet. The question is, you know, how do you compound that? And more importantly, how do you not give half of it away to the government? Because, you know, what they say, you know, the Elon Musk paid very little in tax, but he paid more than, you know, the top 10% of the population earn an income. He paid more than that in taxes, but relative to his income, very, very low percentage. I think it worked out to just over 1%, which is a lot of money in his case.
Yeah, it's a lot of money to the average person for sure.
But if you can, you know, get half of your income back or double your income next year and not pay as much tax, you in essence quadruple your income. Simple math. We're getting into some math stuff here. We don't want to overwhelm everybody, do we?
You must be an accountant. You go from hugging association to how do we turn into billionaires?
I love it. You know, you pull out the financial calculator and you get to work.
Yeah.
So 3 to the power of 21. There it is. 3 to the power of 21. What is it? 10.6 billion. 10.46. So a third of the world will get an extra hug on that last day, just to reciprocate the generosity. So what's up on the marketing side? Maybe before we go, maybe one last little marketing tip, one last little tax tip. You give your marketing tip to give me time to think of a tax tip.
My marketing tip for the day is just provide as much value as you possibly can. Build an email list and just provide value to that email list. And the reason I came up with this today is because about, I think it's 12 years ago, 10 or 11 or 12 years ago is when I first bought my first house. And I used a mortgage broker at the time that my cousin introduced me to. And to this day, I'm still on his email list. And he sends me an email once a week. It's a weekly newsletter update, you know, mortgage information email. Now, do I read this email every week? No. Do I even open it? No. But I receive it, which keeps him in my thought process.
Front of mind.
Yeah, front of mind every single week. And I'm not going to ever jump off of his email list because there's going to come a day when I need to get another mortgage or, you know, whatever the case is. Who do you think the first person I'm going to think of when that time comes? It's going to be that guy, right? So my main, and the other thing he does too, which is really cool, is he sends out on my birthday, he sends me a nice little happy birthday email and just little personal touches like that. And, you know, back in the day when I first got signed up with him, I maybe had 3 conversations with him to you know, finish that process. Never ever talked to him again in my life, but still to this day, 11 or 12 years later, he's showing up in my email. He's sending me personal, you know, emails. And I understand how this works with technology and automation. And, you know, obviously he plugged my birthday into a system somewhere along the way. And now, you know, these emails that go out on people's birthday, I guarantee he doesn't remember that. but it's a cool little touch, right? And people like those personal touches. And so my marketing tip for the day is, just build that email list, build the following. And even though those customers or those leads on your email list may not need you today, there is going to come a day when they will. And if you keep in the front of their mind, you will be the one who reaps those rewards when the time comes.
Yeah, a simple way to do that. We received the same advice a couple of years back, and I went to a little marketing training seminar and learned this little tip to putting together. Let's see, I don't know if we can do a whiteboard here. I don't think so, but a simple tip. Maybe we'll do it on next week's webinar. Alicia can remind us of that. But we come up over the years with 150 financial planning tips, and you see them in the tax tips every week, and we can repurpose those tax tips. We put them into a spreadsheet and just started compiling them. Every time, we came up with our list, what we could come up with front of mind. Then we went back to the textbooks and then to the online blogs, to get all these tips. And now we have over 150, and we're sharing those with mortgage brokers, with insurance advisors, investment advisors, so they can send them out through our marketing material. But it starts with that simple list. Come up with 10, whatever industry you're in. If you're an affiliate marketer, the top 10 advantages to have an affiliate marketing system. If you're a realtor, top 10 reasons why you want to sell your home in today's market, or not want to sell your home in today's market. Whatever your angle is, just come up with those and then repurpose them in some simple posts. You can just copy the text into Facebook, into Instagram, but you have to have those accounts set up. So another one is, get those accounts set up and then follow Jesse's advice. Just start giving. Start dishing out those left jabs. You'll be hitting them so hard with the left, they'll be begging for the right. That's the way it works. So our tax tip for the week is, if you're in a side hustle, if you're part of the Dollar Tax Club, you get to file a self-employed tax return. At some point, that income is going to rise to the point where the pain becomes too much tax, or too much tax becomes the pain. Whichever way you look at it, you have to think about incorporating, the askmrtaxes.ca to set up, a free consultation. Join the Dollar Tax Club, book that 1-hour consultation through there. Get the advice you need. It's going to cost you $1 if you circumvent the system and you save $1, or you beat us, hustle us out of spending $1, so be it. If you like the service we offer, you're going to work with us. If you're not, hey, we don't want to work with you either. We only want to work with people that want to work with us, that want to save tax. That's bottom line. Minimize tax, maximize wealth. That's our mission statement. I think that's about it for this week, Jess.
Yeah. I think I don't have much more to offer today.
There, we got to get Jesse's email here in the last slide. So I know our moderator, who's too shy to come on, we'll try and get her on one of these weeks to show some of the skills, some of the software that she uses to put together the marketing materials, these slides, the PowerPoints. Great job in the PowerPoints, but maybe get Jesse's contact info. So it's Jesse at mrinsurance.ca. Yeah. Alicia could probably get that in the chat. If you're watching it on the YouTube, remember to comment, like, and subscribe. Smash that subscribe button. Bash the subscribe button. Do whatever you got to do to it. Get on our list. It helps us help you.
Yep, that's that.
That's a wrap.
That's a wrap.
That's a wrap for week number 30, and give you three guesses on next week's number, and the first two don't count.
32.
Yeah, we're getting there. We'll be there soon. Maybe we'll take a week off. No, we wouldn't miss a week. I wouldn't miss a week anyway. I enjoy coming on these because we get lots of feedback from the listeners. Some people have feedback. Again, we're looking for guests. We didn't have a guest on again this week, but next week we do have a guest on. That's a surprise. You got to tune in next week. You got to be in it to win it. Show up next week and you find out who the special guest is. I actually don't know, so Alicia takes care of all the bookings. So reach out to us if you know somebody who'd like to get on the webinar, and we'll endeavor to get them on one of the upcoming episodes. I'll let you wrap it up, Jess.
Thanks for coming. Thanks for showing up, and we'll see you on next week.